Hi, Steve here. So, in reply to your comment that you emailed, I just want to go and show that I've made a couple of changes, and I wanted to show what I think is the layout that you're looking at, as well as what I would still recommend based on the coverage that you can get with the one that I believe you recommended. So, first of all, let's just go and look at the dimensions. Like I still have this at 12-foot height, but you mentioned that you have a drop ceiling of 10'6". So I'm assuming that there's some distance between the beams up here and the drop ceiling. So that is going to be important. So I have it at 1.5 feet right now. And we'll need a minimum of 8 inches if that is true. And also if the fact of the matter is that the ceiling joists will be going parallel with these upper beams here. So the other thing, too, is again, I don't really know the true dimensions and whether you're looking at heating up the bar area, if this is a bar area on the outside edge. The table here I have still at 24 by 3. And I still have this distance here at 15 feet from the wall to the outer edge here. And I think that's about it as far as that information is important. Let's go ahead and look at the system that you have in mind. Is placing the heaters centered within the distance between the table edge here and the beam above. So I put that centered in here, and you can see that the heaters are all pointed straight down. These are these are 6,000 watt WD models in flush mount kits. The other thing I want you to see is that if you do have these and you have the ceiling joists going in this direction, you're going to need to box that in somehow. So what I've done here is just showed how the boxed in area for that ceiling is going to have to look. So if this can be done, I'm not sure structurally how that can be done. Maybe these need to be double stacked or something of that nature in order to get the the true support, or what I'm saying. But anyways, they need to be a minimum of 8 inches high, and you need to have a 1 hour rated firewall box installed here. So this will be drywall, 5/8 drywall rather, and it has to be around all 4 sides as well as the top in order to use that. So let me go back here too. This is the flush mount kit, and this would be the WD6024 model. Also, you can see I don't have these all done the same way, but you can see this one's showing here, and I did that because of the fact that if this is a ceiling, you could have the heater itself mounted on the ceiling with a bracket showing, or you can drop this down, or I should say have the I don't know if it's going to be a wooden ceiling or not, but let's just say it's a 1/2 inch drop. If it's wood, the heater itself needs to be dropped as well, so this heater can drop in the flush mount kit to the same elevation as the ceiling if it's combustible. So if it's a stucco ceiling, you don't need to do that, but if it's a combustible ceiling, wood or something of that nature, then you need to drop the elevation of the bottom of the heater at the same elevation as the ceiling itself. I'm going to go ahead and just turn that all back here, but I want you to see that it also looks much better. Here's what it looks like here, attached to the ceiling, the flush mount kit, and then going back to, let's see if I can get that here, going back to pulling this down so that it's covering. You're not going to see the 1 hour fire rated drywall, but you will see the vent holes here. It needs to be 1/2 inch from the vent hole to any combustible surface like that. as well as any stucco, so that you're getting the proper ventilation around the heater. So I wanted you to see that because I just think it looks much better in any application than this here itself. Now let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat that you're going to get. I have 5 units here, and obviously you could move these 2 based on what that requirement is, as far as do you want it to heat up this space here, or is it more acceptable for just a whole line right here. But what I really want you to see is this is infrared light. Infrared light wave is not visible to the human eye. However, if you're not in that ray of light, you're not going to feel the warmth at all. It doesn't heat air, it heats mass, tables, chairs, and human bodies. So you can see here, this is going to be the only side that's going to be heated properly with it in this layout here. So that's kind of why I'm not choosing that. Now, another thing I should mention is with the flush mount units, you cannot angle the heater so that it is pointed towards this inner edge here. It can only be face down. So that's another thing that you need to be concerned about. Other than that, let's go ahead and look at again what I kind of have in mind more preferable for this application would be, what I did here is I didn't center the heaters. I centered this edge here, or I should say I centered the edge of the heater based on that point that you're talking about from here to this beam, and that's the starting point of the heater. And you can see that it's a 61¼ inch heater, longer flush mount, but you can see that now we're penetrating more of the area that's being occupied on this side here with that layout. Now I prefer it to be centered within the span, but I'm not quite sure what the purpose of having it off-centered would be for you. I mean, I'm sure there's some reason that you're suggesting to do that. Over here you can see that if our ceiling joists are going parallel with these main beams on this drop ceiling, that these will fit in quite nicely. If it hasn't been built yet, then obviously you can place these ceiling joists exactly where you want them, so that you can heat this table as best as possible. What I've done here is I've gone from the center of the table here for the first unit, and then I believe this is 9 foot center to center. Let me just double check on that real quick. So from here to here, yeah, 9 foot center to center, and that gives you a good overlapping here in the middle, so that this is a cold section, so you do have beams that are coming out this direction and this direction here. That's not the ideal, but you do have that, and they're overlapping, so that makes this whole space here more uniform throughout the whole entire space. Obviously the ends here aren't heated as well. You'll probably be sitting out a little bit further, but you will receive a little bit of heat there. Again, do we want these to be moved over so that it's more centrally located within that, so that if these are seating positions for a bar stool seating position, then you would receive that heat if we centered it over here. And again, 9 foot center to center from the center point of the bar. Now I'm not quite sure of the whole entire distance of this bar, so I can't tell you that it's going to heat up the whole bar area properly, but you can see here I have from here to here at 6'8", and then 3 foot here. So we're essentially at 12.5 feet roughly in my drawing. Again, that 10'6" ceiling height is what I have. So in any case, this would be my preferred still, and even more so, I would love to have the heaters more centrally located in the bar area, or in this whole space here. This is moving over 1 foot 9 inches off this center point that I mentioned before. So you can see here now we even have a better footprint of heat on the table area, as well as more of the bar stool, if that's true, heated properly. So all right, well, I hope that helps out in the setup of this particular application, and please get back to me, let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you very much.